Now we're talking about the corporate world where a silent revolution is underway led by women. And this revolution is not only changing the way women are represented in the workforce, but also bringing in huge profits to multinational corporations. And our next report dives into the fascinating intersection of people and profits. Take a look.
Women are shattering the glass ceiling in every sphere of life, be it sports, politics, or the corporate world. As the corporate world takes a turn towards becoming sustainable and more socially conscious, many companies now realize the need to have more women in the workforce. And greater women participation in the workforce can be a boon for a company. That's what a new report from investment management firm BlackRock tells us. The report states that parity between men and women has helped companies earn 29% higher profits in the last decade. Companies where women are appropriately represented in the middle management have generated 0.36% higher monthly returns, compared to companies where women representation is poor. In the last 4 years, companies that promoted more women into senior roles have enhanced their performance by 0.72% compared to the many large and mid-sized global firms. Multinational firms led by women CEOs have outperformed other companies by 1 percentage point on an average in the last decade. Women are creating magic, not just across large firms, but also in the investment and startup sectors. Women-led hedge funds have outperformed others over the last 16 years. Women-owned startups delivered better returns compared to those founded by men. In fact, it is wise to tilt a portfolio towards women-friendly companies. Investing in firms with higher average maternity leaves would have given 1 percentage point higher returns per year in the last 4 years. Women, however, have a long way to go in the corporate world. They make up only 6% of CEOs. The driver's seat of the biggest corporations are heavily dominated by men. And pay disparity as well as gender discrimination continues to plague the corporate world. Nevertheless, the report is yet another reminder of the transformative power of women. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
And for more insights on this, we're now being joined by Dr. Brinda Jagirdar, Senior Economist, live from Mumbai. Welcome to the broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, there is a push for diversity, especially to have women in leadership roles, not just in the workforce, but for the benefit of our viewers, can you tell us what would be the impact of women in top leadership roles in the corporate world?
Taking up from your report, which you just quoted, we would all agree that better financial health is good as it provides more job opportunities. It has more opportunities for expansion and productivity. It is good for the growth and development, not only of the corporate, but of the economy. So better financial health is certainly welcome. Now, one of the factors for this is diversity. I would say gender diversity is more than just gender diversity. It involves diversity of domain expertise, skills, age, outlook, perspectives, cultural differences. It's a whole range, and gender is only one of the factors. But yes, it's a very important factor. Now, let's look at it this way. Women and men in the top leadership roles have by and large the same qualities, like intelligence or decision making. So it's definitely there is a difference to the company, to the corporate bottom line, when it comes to having more women in the top leadership roles and in the boardroom, for example. Now, why is this so? Now, this is because, basically there is a difference in the way men and women approach an issue, a problem. Women are more participative, they're more compassionate, they're good listeners, and they like to take people along, and they look to see people oriented. For example, if somebody has to be fired, it's very easy for, I suppose, I would guess, it's not, I won't say very easy, it's probably easier for a male HR head or a male CEO to call the person and say, you go home. But a woman would probably think about what happens to his family. And she probably, it's more likely. I'm not saying it's generalizing, it's 100%, but it's more likely that the woman would take a more compassionate view and probably counsel him first, give him another chance, and then if she has to let go, she will do that. Right. But there's more motivation, there's encouragement for performance. So I think it's the personal qualities, probably the soft skills that women are better at.
All right. That being said, what can corporates across the world do to promote more women empowerment in the middle and higher level roles?
Yes, you're very right. Because, at the entry level, you find that there are a large number of women, probably the same number as men. But as you go on into middle management, and definitely when you go on to the senior management and the board positions, you find that the number of women has really evaporated. And I think this is all over the world globally, but I think perhaps it's more so in India. Now, one of the reasons is disparity in pay, as you mentioned in your report. Now, I come from a public sector background, so I have not experienced this myself. I think men and women get paid equally, irrespective of gender. There is no gender discrimination. Perhaps it could be in the corporate sector, but I think there also, I wouldn't say the well-performing corporates and the more enlightened corporates, we don't see this difference, this discrimination. But remember, women hold up half the sky. So you can't keep them out and you can't shut the door on them and expect to continue to grow well. So it's very important to have them included in the workforce, and included and continuing in the workforce. And one of the reasons, of course, is the pay, the pay that you pay pay that is given to both men and women. More than this, I think, because women also have family responsibilities with his children, care for the elderly, care for relatives. So I think that is something where the corporates can play definitely an important role. It's not just the corporate. Before that, let me say family support. It all starts with the family. In my family, I was encouraged to study, to take up a job. And from there on, that's the outlook I developed. And so I brought it to the workplace also. And yes, it was difficult when I got married and I had my child. It was my mother's support, my husband's support, and my siblings that supported me. So I think I'm grateful to all of them for bringing me till here. And this is, I suppose, in most cases, this would be the situation. So we need family support first. And after that comes the corporates. Give them responsibilities. And of course, they're accountable. Encourage them to go for training programs and take on more responsibilities and higher positions. If they need to skill themselves, give them those opportunities, either online or let them go for additional courses if it is required, for both men and women, of course. But ultimately, it is really, like I said, they can also help in maybe providing some creche support, because family support is also difficult nowadays. Right. So maybe providing daycare, families, creche or whatever. So I think companies will have to look beyond pay to make sure that women remain in the workforce and you're able to use their talents for the benefit of the company as they go on in their career.
Right, Doctor, in fact, I was just going to come to this. What are the systemic changes that we're looking at to make the corporate world more friendly towards women, to provide a more cohesive and a conducive environment for this? Of course, after the pandemic, we've seen that the need for flexible working hours, that has become a priority as well. So what are some of the other changes that we're looking at here?
Yes, flexible working hours is very, very important. And work from home, for example, you could probably give them one day to work from home. And that gives, and not only women, I think even the men who need this can take it. So make it an option. So if anyone wants to do that, they can probably work from home for one day in a week. And yes, flexible working hours is very important, especially when the children are young. And then, first of all, accept them as equals in the corporate world. I mean, you're not doing them any favor, and there shouldn't be any kind of feeling that, look, they're getting more privileges. It's not a privilege. It's not that. It's that you're helping the woman employee to provide, to contribute in a more meaningful way and in a bigger way to the company's performance. So I think companies have to be a little more compassionate, if I may say so, but they will have to look beyond just the the responsibilities that are laid down in their roles. Beyond the roles, they should look, and beyond the pay scales also. Make a little bit of compassion and a little more flexibility and adjustment is required.
All right. Dr. Brinda Jagirdar, Senior Economist from Mumbai, thank you so much for joining us on the show with all your insights and your perspective on this.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.